How's it going, everyone? So I placed an order at Stylevanna. I also placed an order at Yes Style. Bought a bunch of different Asian beauty, but yeah, I think it's mostly K-beauty. I definitely bought quite a lot of products. I've already very briefly tested some of these products, so I'll give you guys my first impressions on those, but I thought I would share with you guys what I picked up in my haul and then also apply some products with you guys. Not all of it is here yet, so I might do a part two. Let me know down below if you guys want to see a part two. So for foundation, I actually picked up this product from Same Beauty. It is the Studio Glow foundation. It is a very small, like little travel size, but I kind of like that. I like, you know, having the opportunity to just test something without committing to the full size product. So I will leave like all the details of all the products down below for you guys, because sometimes I throw away the package and the package like has most of the details on like shades and stuff. So I'm not positive what shade this is, but again, I'll leave like shade names, links and everything down below. But this is supposedly a super glowy foundation. I have used it once before and didn't find it to be particularly glowy. Also, it is a little bit too dark for me. So we're just gonna roll with it. Surprising amount of coverage on this one as well. They do mention that this has light reflecting particles to give a luminous, dewy finish. It's definitely super lightweight, but I will say, I mean, I don't know about you guys, this doesn't look very dewy to me at all. However, I do really like the kind of lightweight feel that it has. I'm just kind of shearing it out a little bit with a dry sponge. When it's all kind of sheared out, the shade match doesn't look as bad as I thought. So there it is on the skin. Now, this is definitely more affordable than the product I'm about to compare it to, but it does remind me of the Bare Minerals Bare Pro foundation. Like the finish of it, how thin it is on the skin, the way it builds up. In general, it's definitely giving me that vibe, but the shade range isn't as great. It does have a nice kind of blurring look while also being quite featherweight, as they mentioned, but also not like too weightless. Like sometimes a very weightless foundation will kind of look dry on my skin. This doesn't look dry. It just doesn't look as dewy as I was hoping. But now I'm going to go in with the 3CE Full Cover Concealer. Personally, 3CE is a brand that I'm like super interested in, and the formulas that I've just tried are really, really good, and the shades I often really like. Now, speaking of shade, this is the shade 001. It is, I think, decent, especially in combination with the shade that I already have going on. One of the first products that I really fell in love with from 3CE was the Take a Layer cream blushes. I've talked about those for a really long time on my channel. From what I can find, I'm pretty sure that they're discontinued and they're not making them anymore, which is such a friggin' bummer because they were so good. They just had this really beautiful blurring finish that on the skin I always appreciated. But I did go ahead and pick up a bunch of new products I haven't tried from them yet. Hopefully I find something I love as much as that one. Concealer is nice, but it's just a little bit not luminous enough for me. So I am gonna adjust a little bit because I want to. So I'm gonna do a little bit of Kosas Revealer under the eyes just for a little bit more coverage and dewiness. And I'm also going to add a little bit of the MAC Fix Plus Magic Radiance. Add a touch more hydration. So I'm just patting that MAC Radiance into my skin right now. You can see it adds this just really pretty just freshness that I just really have always appreciated about this product. Oh my gosh, that I think for me, for my taste, that looks a lot better. So now I'm much happier with the complexion. Now let's move on to cheek products. I bought a lot of different cheek products, and I noticed that a lot of the newer launches that I saw on Stylevanna as well as Yes Style, a lot of brands are coming out with liquid blushes in particular. I actually saw this newer K-beauty brand, Nick Hair, and I picked up one of their liquid blushes. I think it was around $8, and this is the shade Jana Peach. So let me give you guys a swatch of this. Very, very silky, and it has this nice kind of spreadable texture that very clearly shears out. Very smooth, definitely more matte, has that kind of soft, plushy, fluffy kind of texture. So I could use this one. I've never tried this brand before, so that does make me excited to dive into it. I also picked up one from I'm Mimi. It's the Bare Cheek Liquid Blush. And what shade is this? 003. I think it's called like Almond something, but I'll swatch it right next to the neck hair one. So there it is. Very different formula, as you can see. There's way more luminosity to the one from I'm Mimi. Shears out really prettily. It does also have a scent. Oh, it smells like tea tree oil to me. I don't know if there's tea tree oil in here. I'm gonna have to look that up. But you can see way less pigment, shears out way easier. Not all K-beauty brands come out with like super, super pigmented products. I actually don't mind the more saturated pigment from the Nick Hair just because a little bit will go a longer way. All right, let's wash these off. I still have more, I know. Okay, I have two blushes from 3CE. Both are different formulas. So I have the Sheer Liquid Blusher, and then I also picked up the Velvet Liquid Blusher. Personally, I'm really excited about the Velvet Liquid Blusher because it's giving me that same vibe of the Take a Layer that I really liked from 3CE. So this is the shade Vienna Rose right here. Now, I don't like this applicator as much. It's just more of like a pointed doe foot, so it just deposits less product. Personally, I prefer something a little bit more flat, but it does help control pigment when you do have this kind of applicator, which, because this is, you know, definitely has decent pigment, I can understand why that would be helpful. But there is Vienna Rose, such a pretty shade. And then I also picked up the shade Side Piece from 3CE, and this is their more dewy sheer formula. And this is just a really pretty kind of rosy, slight kind of bubblegummy pink. And there it is right there. Both are super pretty. And I'm not gonna lie, just texturally, I know the 3CE are slightly more expensive than the other two liquid blushes I just talked about. In the fingers, you can tell. And that's something I've just noticed with this brand. I don't know, I just find that the textures feel super luxurious. So I think I'm gonna go in with Vienna Rose today from 3CE. Just because this shade is right up my alley, and I just feel like this formula could be one that I really fall in love with. And just pressing that in with the BK 101 brush. Oh, that is so pretty. It just kind of shears out in an effortless way. Very velveteen. And I will say that if you are a fan of more of a matte formula as far as your creams go, this definitely leans more like velveteen matte. I also did pick up a powder blush from the Face Shop, and I picked up the peach shade. I just thought this was so cute. It has a little powder puff in here and a very pretty peach shade. Now, the first time I applied this, I was just like, oh, I'll just take a little boop boop out of the applicator, just tap it on. It's gonna be really sheer and glistening. No, this has pigment. This has got some pigment. I do think I want to add a little bit of powder bronzer just to like warm up my face a touch. So I'm going to go ahead in with my Gucci bronzer. This is the shade 01. I've been continuing to use this. I picked it up, I want to say almost 2 months ago, maybe a month ago. The formula is definitely luxe, and I just notice that it brings this just layer of blur and elegance to my makeup whenever I apply it, and that's what I expect from luxury makeup. You know, it has to take the texture and the finish to the next level. You know, I of course want like a nice dialed in shade and longevity as well, but I think I need a little bronzer today. So let's go ahead and do that. That was one thing I didn't pick up. I also just generally find that there's a little bit more of a focus on blush than necessarily bronzer when it comes to K-beauty launches. I did find one a while ago that I really liked from iMimi. It's their stick bronzer. And that one was really, really pretty. Beautiful for like a no makeup look. But yeah, as far as bronzers, they're a little bit few and far between. But if you have one that you recommend, definitely let me know. There we go. Honestly, the skin looks very perfected and super just... Everything looks very lightweight and airy on the skin, so I'm definitely digging it. Now for eyeshadow products, I have 3. The first one I have is a brand called Tuzvimi. I apologize if I'm not saying that right. I did try and look up pronunciation, but I couldn't find one for this brand. Now this brand hasn't come out with a lot of products, but they have come out with a really, really extensive shade range within like the few products that they have, which I think is really cool. These are called the High Shine eyeshadows, and this is a duo. So they have some in like singles, or you can pick up a duo, which I love because you get to try 2 shades. So this is the duo S06, and there are 2 more warm toned bronzy shades. Something I immediately noticed with this formula is how spreadable it is. It just a little bit goes a long way. There must be a lot of silicone in this formula or something, because I don't know if you can tell, like it just wants to spread onto the skin. A little bit goes a long way. They do dry down eventually, but I think these will be really nice if you find that your liquid shadows just dry down too fast and you really want to take your time with them, because this kind of formula will definitely give you that time. So that is really pretty. I'm not super crazy about the shades, if I'm being honest. I do want to try out a little bit more of their like cooler bronzy shades, because I mean, you guys know that's usually what I go for. Speaking of cooler bronzy shades, I picked up this one from Riri, the Luxe Liquid Eyeshadow, and this is Cinnamon Mocha. This one looks really pretty. It reminds me of a shade from Armani that I haven't used in a while, but this is the shade Cinnamon Mocha. I'll swatch it right next to the Tuzvimi. Now, this definitely calls my name because it has those tiny, fine little glitter particles that just give you a little bit more of that glassy reflection. So I think that this could be really pretty as a base for the look today. How does that sound, guys? I mean, how can I not put that on? And then lastly, I picked up a single shadow from KLAVUU right here. And this is also a K-beauty brand, and this is the shade Glam Brown. It's their Urban Pearlsation Sparkle Eyeshadow. Now, this just had Amanda written all over it. Super, super pretty. That was a weird way to swatch that. Hopefully you guys can see. Quite a similar shade, actually, to the Riri. Tons of really pretty fine sparkle in there. So I think what I'm going to do is add the Riri liquid shadow. This is Cinnamon Mocha. I know I've said that before. As almost like a base to the makeup look, especially in the crease, just to help with any creasing going on. Is it just me? Is that shearing out to like nothing? Yeah, this shears out very, very quickly, and it just kind of leaves a little bit of like a soft shimmer, but I am wishing for a little bit more right now, I'm gonna be honest. So let's go ahead with the KLAVUU. Now I have used this before on my eyes, and it was really pretty. Very, very pretty. So I'm excited to use it again. Oh, so freaking pretty. Just taking that all over the eye. I'm kind of using it as like a one and done. Obviously it's not a one and done look today, but it almost reminds me of some of my favorite more like taupey, sparkly top coats. Like it's giving a little bit of Off the Hook from Bodyography, a little bit of that Hourglass Smoke vibe. Those are the shades that are coming to mind for me right now, but oh my gosh, is that pretty. Now, what I'm really digging about this shade is that it just feels like a little bit of a cooler toned version of like Space Cowboy from Urban Decay. Like, as far as how I would see myself incorporating this into my routine, that's what I'm getting. And that shine is pretty epic. I do want to add a little bit more blush. I just feel like I'm needing some color. The peach, I don't know if the peach is really gonna vibe with this look now. Maybe I'll add a little bit of the Nacre blush. Just gonna tap that in. It does feel like the pigment was a little bit more saturated, I think. Yeah, I feel like there might be a little bit more pigment with the Nacre. I don't know, I might have to keep testing to figure that out. However, that definitely gave me a little bit more pop, and I was looking for that, so that's good. Now, I didn't pick up any brow products, so I'm just gonna go in with my combo of the moment, which is the Benefit Precisely My Brow, and then the Patrick Ta Major Lamination Brow Gel. Speaking of brows, so I actually picked up a Latisse prescription a while ago. But recently there's been a bit of some research coming out that Latisse may contribute to fat loss around the eyes. And as someone with already hollow under eyes, naturally, that freaked me out a little bit. So I decided to skip on using Latisse on my eyes, but I have this prescription and it's been sitting there. So I recently started using it in my brows. And by recently, I mean like a week ago. And I don't know if it's placebo or what. I've been specifically using it like right in the front of my eyebrows. And I've just been noticing some sprouts. This area is looking way more full than it typically does. And again, I don't know if it's placebo. I might have to start taking some like before and after pictures now, even though they won't be like super like completely accurate because I've already been using it for a little bit, but I might start doing that. Let me know if you guys would like to see that, like a little Latisse in the brow update. Now for lips. I can't even tell you how many freaking products I picked out for the lips. I picked out a lot, and I think it's just because I love, wait a second. I got another cheek product. This is the Cream Cheek Dream Cheek from Amuse. And this is a K-Beauty brand. Oh my gosh. I don't even know what's going on. This is Shimmering Marmalade, by the way. I have swatched this, and the shimmer is just kind of bizarre to me. But I haven't tried it on my cheeks, so I have to, you know, wait till I try it there. But there is that shade. Also, I don't know if you guys can see that applicator. It's weird. Like it's a little star. Or it's like a flower. Star, flower. You know what? Maybe I'll add a little bit because this does have a little shimmer. Maybe it'll give me like a little bit of like a highlighted blushy effect. Do you guys notice a difference? I notice it in person. Oh, yeah, it just adds a little bit of like that kind of like blush highlight vibe. I am interested in seeing how this looks like up close though. Yeah, I can definitely see like the shimmer, like when I look really up close. Yeah, and honestly, I don't know if I like that. I don't like that I can see the particles. However, I am noticing that like I'm slowly adding a lot of blush and I really gotta get everything blended out here. Okay, but anyway, so I picked up a lot of lip products and I think that K-Beauty is doing some of the best. So I wanted to dive into those. This is from 3CE. It is the 3CE Blur Water Tint, but this is the shade Lay Down. There it is. You can see it just has this gorgeous like jelly consistency that eventually starts to set down and sink down into the skin, which is something I really like out of a lip tint. Just that a little bit more of that bouncy hydrating texture, at least with an initial application. I also picked up the Velvet Lip Tint from 3CE, and this is the shade Cheeky Rose. And this is way more of like that blurred lip tint vibe. Definitely more pigment, more of that kind of like slippy texture. Another product from 3CE. I really wanted to try out like all of their lip formulas. This is Under Pressure. And this is a completely different formula. This, where are you? Yeah, the Glow Lip Colors. So, oh my gosh, look at that. Just glassy, glossy. I mean, I want that on my lips right now. I'm gonna try and fit 2 more swatches on my hand because I picked up 2 more lipsticks from 3CE. These are their soft matte lipsticks. Now the first one I actually did a YouTube short on this. It's their collaboration with Toiletpaper Mag at That Art. I initially picked this up, and by the way, I will leave links down to their entire collaboration with Toiletpaper Mag. A lot of you guys were like, does your lipstick say toilet paper on it? I'm like, yes, it does, but it's a collab, obviously. But this formula is so good. God. This is the shade Sensual Breeze, and it is like the most perfect blotted lipstick in a bullet. It's just freaking beautiful. It sinks down into the lips so effortlessly. It feels like kind of like a powder going on, but it's not heavily drying feeling or chalky. It still has a really beautiful slip to it and glide on the lips. And without this also feeling like a straight silicone lip formula, which I find there are, you know, more velvet lip products typically have more silicone in them. But I just find that this is a really beautiful balance. And then I also picked up this shade, Speak to Me. I'll swatch that over here. Like, that is so beautiful. Like, I kind of want to use this. I'm going to keep this one out because I think I might use this because I just feel like I have to show you guys the beauty of this formula. But I do have more lip products here. One lip product I was really freaking excited to try out is from Pearlsation. They are the Ink Mood Drop Tints. I picked up 2 shades. First of all, God, I love the packaging. Love it. Feels super luxe. It looks like glass, but it's plastic, which, I mean, you know, glass applicators, they feel nice, but they can be a little dangerous for travel. But that's the shade 03. Again, the texture just has this really gorgeous plushiness to it that I absolutely love. And then this is the shade 06. Definitely a different shade than I was expecting. There's the shade 06. Very, very pretty though. These have a little bit more glossiness and more of a tack than the first formula I swatched, the Blur Water Tint. Yeah, I feel like the Pearlsations are gonna give you a little bit more glossiness, whereas the Blur Water Tint is more supposed to kind of sink down into the lips and just offer that kind of your lips but better look. I can tell you that the Pearlsation definitely leaves pigment. You can see, I don't know if that swatch is gonna come off for a while. I'm gonna have to figure that out. And are those all the lip products I picked up? I mean, I do have more coming in the mail. I think I'm gonna go ahead and use Speak to Me from 3CE. Again, because like this formula is freaking beautiful. I don't remember if I've tried this shade on. I've definitely swatched it. I can tell I've swatched it. I don't even know how to explain how pretty this formula is. You can really like sheer it out very easily, but you can also build it up. Like I'm building it up to give it more pigment and richness, but you can certainly get more of a sheer look with this and it'll still look really even, which is important. I added a little bit of Sensual Breeze right in the middle. Just look at it, just made that pop a little bit more, I think. Okay, I'm going to go ahead, do some mascara, and then let's collect and talk about the haul. Okay, so here's the completed look. I feel very put together. Like this is a very, very polished look. I really, really like it. I think first what I want to do is kind of go through products that I've had the best first impression with, some products I've had like not the best first impression with, and then I'll just leave all the other products I talked about down below. Because, you know, we all know that first impressions aren't everything, and I can definitely not tell a ton just from swatching something on my hand. So I definitely have to give a lot of these products more time is what I'm trying to say. So first of all, Glam Brown from KLAVUU, you're gonna be hearing about this. This is so freaking pretty. If you love a glossy looking cool toned eyeshadow, this is definitely one to look into. It's not quite as translucent as something like Space Cowboy from Urban Decay, but it still has those really pretty glossy reflex within the formula. And I just think that the shade is really, really nice. Of course, these 3CE lipsticks, I could not be happier with them. I want to try out more shades. As someone with chronically dry lips, to find a blotted lipstick formula that doesn't make them look worse and just offers this really fresh, voluminous, blotted lip look, I mean, that's just everything I want. It's everything I want. I just really, really dig them. I want more shades. I want more shades. I'm super excited about these Pearlsation Ink Mood Glow Tints. They look freaking beautiful. As far as the Velvet Lip Tints from 3CE, I want to see how these compare to the Pearlsation Area Ink Velvets, just formula-wise. And then the Water tint formula from 3CE. I'm just interested in seeing how it would differentiate, even from something like the Juicy Lasting tints. Just, I want to see if there's anything different about them. I'm kind of bummed about the Amuse cheek tint, the one that has a lot of that shimmer in it. I think if the shimmer was just a little bit more fine, it would be really pretty. I don't like that, I don't like that I can see individual glitters on my skin, so that's kind of a bummer. The 3CE Velvet Cheek Tint looks really pretty. Definitely need to try the sheer one a little bit more. The one from Nacare, I mean, all things good so far with that one. Now the Riri Liquid Shadow, again, I just want a little bit more pigment from a product like this for, you know, my taste. I really liked the shimmer particles. They were super pretty. And in a swatch, it looked really pretty. So I'll have to keep trying this one out and, you know, seeing what the vibe is. Vimy, these are something super special. I just really am excited to dive more into this brand and the different shades that they have. Now for the base products, the 3CE Full Cover Concealer, I don't see myself using this really. I just feel like it's a little bit too matte for me. And then as for the Studio Skin, it's so funny. Like once one dog on our block starts barking, it's like, you know, just a chain reaction of all of the dogs. I think the Studio Glow foundation is pretty. I really want to see how it wears though, because I think that that's going to be ultimately like the last test, because it looks really pretty on, but it's a little bit more matte than I would typically like. But if it wears really pretty and like my skin wears into the foundation and it starts to look a little bit fresher throughout the day, then I can see myself reaching for it again. And I think if you like, again, the Bare Pro from Bare Minerals, there's a good chance you like this. It like really reminds me of that formula. So if you guys want me to do another haul, definitely let me know. Oh, I forgot to mention, I did pick up a little bit of skincare as well. But I picked back up. I haven't had it for way longer than I should, at least 6 months. The Kiss Me Mommy sunscreen, which is one of my favorite sunscreens from Isan. Like, it is bomb. You guys, if you like Asian sunscreens, you gotta pick this one up. It's freaking beautiful. My favorite Japanese sunscreen. Okay, that was kind of like random. I know I've talked about this before on my channel, but I love it. So yeah, that was everything that I picked up. I'll leave everything down below. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and I will see you in my next one.